Good evening, everyone. Happy Monday. Cindy, Carrie, Susan,
Patricia.
Tricia. How's everyone doing? Ann from South Jersey. How are you? Jay,
Jay.
what's up, my friend?
Anna.
I know it's been a while. Thursday. We were talking about Friday. Hey, what's up, Tommy? We were talking about, I thought it was Friday because I got all confused last week. But yeah, Thursday was the last time we were live. No, it's both eyes are easier with sunglasses than it is with an eye patch, so I can see. Robert is in Hawaii and he's watching.
Oh,
Like,
Robert.
Robert, Hawaii must be really boring. I am not going there anytime soon. Hello, Cheryl. Dan, how are you? So, Nikki, how are you? Robert? Yeah. So, yeah, when we left you last was Thursday. This was officially the last weekend off for New Jersey Paranormal until 2027. Literally until even late November, which is really hard to say because whew, it's going to
Not
be.
even that. It's after November.
I said late November.
It's into December.
We get a week there for.
Do we?
Yeah, we give you a week.
So,
but it is literally gonna. Hey, Celine, it is gonna be daunting. But we're ready. Hey, Dana, we do this every year, so bring it on, baby. Bring it on.
This old girl is not ready.
What's up, John McGinnis? So we start out this week sitting in our university. Good evening, Kathy. How are you? Hopefully, I'm gonna have some new pieces of equipment that'll be here before Saturday. Hey, Laura, that I could try out live at the event, which should be cool. Christopher, how are you? Hey, Cindy. Kathleen, how are you? But yeah, hey, Laura, we are going to go straight through. I mean, we have ghost walks in October and ghost hunts every weekend, September, October. November, that I wanted to bring up first, we've been talking about the New Jersey Paranormal fundraising thing, day, event, whatever you want to call it. We'll think of a cool name for it. Hey, Thomas. We have locked in a date for that as November 18th at the Barron Arts Center. I spoke with Donna. I was texting Donna back and forth before we went live. And we will have some haunted objects with us. Hey, David. And we will also be investigating the Barron Arts Center as well. Again, this is a fundraising event for us to buy more equipment, because this stuff is expensive, and the more events we do, more equipment we need, gas, tolls, all that good fun stuff. So we're going to limit the event part, the ghost hunting event part, to 12 people, and it's going to be more.
So it's exclusive.
Yeah, it's going to be a very small event, and it's going to be exclusive. 12 people. It's going to be $100 a person because it is a fundraiser, and you'll be hanging out with us. We'll be investigating the haunted objects as well as the building. Hey, Judy. So it'll be for us. And people are asking if you're not attending, you could come there earlier. We'll be there earlier than the actual event. So if you want to stop by and just say hello, it'll be a Saturday. You come by, say hello, and if you want to give to the cause, you're welcome to do that. But if you're not there, we are going to develop a way to donate to us, to New Jersey Paranormal, so that, like I said, there's so many things we want to do. And equipment is expensive. It's not cheap, especially the stuff that we want to get and that we're getting. I just put out another almost $400 yesterday and today. So, I mean, it's not cheap. And if someone drops something or knocks something over, or whatever, we don't say, hey, give us your credit card. You got to pay for that. I mean, we have to eat that. But we haven't done one of these ever. And this is year whatever that we've been together. So this will be the first one. So I'll tailor whatever the event's going to be, present the hours because it's in November. It'll probably be earlier, But we'll allow for a time where, just like with the Burlington prison, if you want to come in during the day while it's still daylight and come say hello, check out the Baron a little bit, and just like you said, again, we're not asking for any. If it's $2, $5, whatever, if you guys just want to stop by, say hello, that's okay too, you know. But it'll be a day where we're hanging out, and you just come by, and then if you're part of the event, it'll be. Again, we've never done it before. We've done haunted objects and a building together. So you guys might, clones, if you're watching, this is the next step in what we do.
It's going to be November 18th, Celine.
So write that down, clones. If you want to do something like this, feel free. Just, you don't have to give me credit because you don't win anything, but do what you got to do. Anyway, it'll be November 18th. It'll be 4 days after my birthday, which gifts are always welcome. Always. 4 days after the Paranormal Savior's birthday. That should be reason enough.
You know, according to you, I have no birthday. You skip right over my birthday doesn't even
I'm talking about this event. Why you're the narcissist who had to throw your birthday in there.
No. I'm just saying, like we talked about the before we were talking about the
me,
psychic,
me, I, me.
No. I'm just pointing out something.
Hello, Chris.
You jump right into your November birthday events, like boom, whack-a-mole. That's all I'm saying.
I was talking about how this event coincides with my birthday.
Wink, wink.
I think there's an event that's around your birthday, too.
So what?
September 17th, whatever we're doing around that time. September 17th is Chris's birthday. And I know we have an event the 2nd, the 16th, the day before your birthday, we have an event. We do.
We do?
The day before your birthday, yeah.
What are we doing? I'll look it up. I just thought
this is what Chris does with everything New Jersey Power. Not just Chris. Everyone within this organization. Where are we going on this day again? What are the hours
I'm
for that
asking,
event again?
listen.
Like I created a schedule. Everything is there.
Here and
it's
now.
right there.
But I know what we're doing when it comes to when I have to know it. How's that? But do I sit here and memorize what we're doing? September?
No. Why would anybody do that?
No.
But it's not like it's available on the Facebook page or.
Have we ever done an investigation by ourselves? Yeah, quite a few.
You totally missed your question, Chris.
What?
I will explain it because Chris sometimes is a little
misses the boat.
Slow to the party, if you know what I mean. He means, have you ever investigated by yourself? Have you ever done an investigation?
Alone. You have.
By yourself also means alone. Yes.
Yeah.
If that works. If that works, if that works for you.
Man.
Chris, do you have any cards you could hold
breathe.
Chris,
breathe,
I have investigated
Hey.
by myself several times.
He hasn't read my shirt. My shirt says, "We rise up by lifting up others, not pushing them down." See?
They can't see it.
I know they can't see it, but that's what my shirt says.
Her shirt doesn't say that at all.
My shirt does too. It does too.
I know I was going to get her to get up and do it. Oh, too easy. It's just too easy.
I know you love. You love to pick on me.
Too easy.
He loves to pick on me.
To answer your question, yes, Chris, I have investigated by myself several times. And do I recommend it? No, depending on what you're doing and where you're going. But it doesn't mean I won't do it again tomorrow because I would if I had the opportunity. But there you go. So, like I said, that's what we're doing November 18th. I'm going to put that event together with all the details and release the tickets. And again, you're just supporting us. I mean, we're going to make the event as good as we can, like we do everything else. We treat them all the same, whether the money goes to us or not, which in 99.9% of the cases, the money doesn't come to us. But with this one, again, no differently. We'll investigate the objects. We'll take you around the building again. The great thing about it is with only 12 people, it's such a small group of people that we can, maybe we'll take it up to 15, maybe, depending on if the 12 go really fast. But again, that'll be cool for us because then I can really allocate money for what I want to buy equipment wise and get 3 or 4 of these, couple of those, and invest in some stuff that I've really been looking at that Robert in Hawaii has that I can't get.
Robert and Sandra in Hawaii,
Robert
right?
in Hawaii. But anyway, so that's what we've been working on. We are going to go to the Creeper Gallery tomorrow. I am going to the Creeper Gallery tomorrow, whether someone is coming with me or not. But several new objects there. I've been looking at all the new stuff, hey Susan, that Donna has, and I follow her page just like you guys probably do, and I've seen the different ones that are there, and there's enough of them now
There's
where
a few of them that are really
we can kind of pick between what three we want to do.
I know.
You know,
I have to admit, I saw some interesting ones myself.
So I was just reading about one that belonged to a Boy Scout.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know if he drowned or some seemed dark. That's why I wear the dark shades.
You know what happens if they are dark.
I look forward to them. I would definitely do one dark. I'll, Chris could. Speaking of dark, I could segue because that's what I do. We were out shopping this weekend, and we go to antique places, like once a month at least.
Yeah.
And we were in this one particular place, and I literally now got to the point where now, consciously or subconsciously, I just wide open when I get into those places because I'm hoping to pick up on something, anything. And this one will be like, "Ooh, look, John, creepy doll. Ooh, look, John, old doll. Ooh, look, John, creepy doll." As if creepy old dolls are the only things that are haunted. And I have to say to her again, "Chris, let me teach you because you need to learn. Dolls aren't the only thing that could have an attachment." I mean, and then she goes, "Really, John?" And I say, "Yes, Chris. Many, many things can have an attachment." So after we go through that, I start looking around at everything. She'll kind of look, and because Chris is a real slow looker. I mean, really slow. And Lily, what she does is she'll get in my way.
Just lay it out there, John.
She'll get in my way. Like I want to go in the corner, and she'll go there first. And I'm like, so I wind up going that way. And I start, because I look at everything fast. I'm just like, nothing.
Half the time he misses stuff because he doesn't. He's a real quick wink through. I don't want to look at what he wants to look at. I have my own taste. I have my own things. I like to, if I'm going to browse, I'm going to browse. So I'm not going to run through the antique store because there's some stores, just like the Creeper Gallery, that has layers of things on the floor that go all the way up to the ceiling. And I do like to take things in because if you don't, that's when you miss things.
Anyway, I saw Jay say something about, I can't read about sunglasses on. I need my glasses, but something about
papoose.
Yeah, but there were two other things that he mentioned too that I. Christine, I don't know. Tickets will probably, what's today? Monday? I would say by Wednesday, tickets will go on sale for what we're doing in November. No, we've never been there, Chris. Other Chris. So I would say by Wednesday, I need to create a poster and I need to figure out how to do everything as far as, I don't know how people who can attend the event can also contribute if they want to. I want to kind of figure that out too. I've never kind of done that before. So I got to kind of look into that too, but that'll probably be by Wednesday, Thursday, the latest. I just need to put everything. We're in expo mode. So there's so much going on with the expo right now that it literally is super crush the next 2 months. GoFundMe page. I don't know about a GoFundMe. I think that's just for other things. I don't know if GoFundMe is for that. Hey, Lauren. I can spend hours in the antique store. Chris, I'll let you go. Well, good. You can go with her next time. Anyway. So I'm walking through. And I got a vibe in a couple of sections. But I literally, when I look around, I can't pinpoint what exactly it is because there's so many things in like every corner of those places. So I'm walking, and I come across this one thing. I don't want to tell anybody what it is because I don't want anybody to get it. It's a statue of some kind, And I'm looking at this thing, and it was so weird. And it was carved out of wood. And Venmo, interested folks should send a check. That's not a bad idea either. Maybe we'll just give our Venmo. Maybe.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I'm not opening my mouth and getting more hits. I've taken enough already. Go ahead.
But then I'll just be quiet. Let you.
No, talk about your wooden carved guy.
Venmo works. Yeah, maybe we'll do the Venmo thing. I mean, maybe that's the easiest way. Sport of Ren Festival. No, we've done our share of those Ren festivals. I'm kind of done with those.
Zell, unfortunately, has been Zell, and I know it's through the bank and everything. Zell has had issues with actual people having their money taken or stolen or someone hacking. So yeah, Zell's a risky.
It's pronounced Zell.
It's not pronounced Zell.
I'm telling you. Anyway, so I'm walking through this, and all of a sudden I'm looking down, and I see this statue. And I walk by it at first, and I look down at it again, and I'm looking at it, and I started getting a headache, and I walked away, and I started looking at other things in that same area, and then I'm like, hey, let me test that again. I walked by it, and I looked at it again, and I started getting a headache. I picked it up, and I'm staring at this thing, and I'm like, boy, this thing looks really, really bizarre. And I'm looking at it, and I take a picture of it with my phone, and I put it down, I walk away, and my equilibrium kind of goes a little wonky on me. And I walked away, and just like that picture of that old woman that we saw at that one antique shop that kept looking at me that I went back to.
Oh, yeah.
I kept thinking about that thing as I walked through. And in my head, over and over, you need to buy it. You need to buy it. Yeah. You should buy it. You need to buy it. And I'm trying to get away from it. Like, you need to buy it.
But then you dragged me over to it.
I showed you it, but then we went to there's all these antique places that are kind of close to each other. So there was another big place right by it. We go to that place, and I'm still thinking about the statue going, you should buy it. You should buy it. You should buy it. So I get home, I have a picture of it on my phone, and I Google image it. And I look at what this thing could possibly represent. And I was like, oh. So I sent a picture to Donna, and I said, hey, what do you think of this? And she said, looks like it's from this country. Really, really creepy. You should buy it. And I'm like, I didn't buy it. But when I Google imaged it, this is what I got. And she was like, yeah, you should buy that thing.
Who told you that?
Donna. So guess where I'm going this week.
Really? Really?
That thing was calling my name.
That's when you should run, because when I call your name, you don't come running.
No, I need to get that. And I already told Donna that I'm going to purchase it. I'm going to bring it to the Creeper Gallery, and we'll investigate it there. And then based on whatever we get, we'll figure it out from there. But I'm telling you, you want to talk about strong gravitational energy, that thing pulled me right to it.
So what are you going to do with it after? And you saying
leave it there.
Oh, you're going to leave it there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, that happened to me with the golden frame picture that had the married couple. That thing pulled me right in.
Yeah, but there was something else that you were looking at that was making you cough, and I can't remember what that was.
I couldn't find it, but I got in that area. I started coughing. There were too many things around me. I couldn't tell which one it was.
And we had to leave. I remember that. We had to leave. You were not feeling well, and you were coughing.
But I think that was a result of that thing.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, I really do. Because I
don't look at those things. I'm not drawn to those things.
I didn't feel good. Right after I went to that thing, I didn't feel good. So I was like, yeah, I got to have that. So honestly, when I buy it and I show it to you, and I'll show you the Google image of what this thing is and what it represents, the carving. It's pretty freaky, man. It's pretty freaky that, it was just sitting there as if it was in the middle of like all stuff that didn't relate to it at all. And there it was. It was like the little tiki on the Brady Bunch.
Oh Lord!
Remember? He
Yeah,
found
I
it in the
remember.
cave.
Yeah,
Remember?
yeah, I do
He
remember.
made
You don't need
the
to.
necklace out of it.
I remember.
Kind of like that. But only it wasn't a tiki.
You're a doodaloo.
Yeah. That's exactly Vincent Price. He's the one who told him about it, by the way. But that thing, for sure, attachment. But again, I went to show it to Donna to get her opinion, and she right away was like, "Yeah, that thing's super creepy. Buy it." And I'm like, "Well, I'm not there. I didn't see it today. I saw it. What day were we there?
Saturday?
Yeah, Saturday.
Yeah, we were there Saturday.
Not that far from us. It's a decent little ride, but I guarantee you, no one's. When are you gonna? I gotta buy it first. If I buy it
He's investigating
this
it.
week, the problem is if I buy it, it's gonna have to stay in the car until we go back to the Creeper Gallery maybe next week, because we're going to the Creeper Gallery tomorrow night, and I ain't running down there to buy that thing tomorrow.
No, just thinking about it.
Yeah, not that I am thinking about it.
Oh, Lord help us. You need good mojo, not bad though. See, I'm looking at antique furniture, things that remind me of my grandparents growing up, like the old tools and the old what is it, those the different lanterns and stuff that they have, and he's looking for stuff that make him get the tinglies, I guess, the spider sensation.
That's the Alex from the Creeper Gallery, the guy who mapped the stick figure.
You do have
on
to
top
be
of the static.
Yes.
But no, this thing drew me right to it, and I can't let go of things like that. Once they get their hooks in, I gotta ride that wave.
He gets obsessed.
I gotta ride that wave for sure.
I don't. I'm like, say that. I'm just like, nah, I'm good. No.
I wonder where that place is in relation to the Creeper Gallery. If it's way one way and the Creeper Gallery is way the other. I'm going to find that out tomorrow. The object spirit must know that. Yes, Christopher.
For the dark
shit, I agree 100% with Christopher is saying. The object/spirit must know that you are the paranormal savior and it's ready to talk. You must be a beacon for spirits, John.
So why is it the dark stuff, Christopher? Why is he drawn to the dark stuff? Why is he always like, calling my name?
I'm wearing shades in a dark building. You know that's why I'm drawn to the dark stuff. What do you think? Paranormal, you people, you can't understand.
I don't want to understand.
You just can't.
I am so good with not understanding. That's the whole flat out thing. I am good with not understanding.
Here's the thing, Lauren. Whenever I've had something that I didn't want in the house and I kept it in my car, which I haven't done for a while. It's been a good long while since I've done that. It stays in the car. I won't bring it in here, but it is in my car. So transporting it is not an issue for me. I mean, I have it.
He's had weird things happen transporting stuff that's got bad juju, like the trunk popping open in the car down the highway a couple of times. And
you guys trying to jinx me if that's what you're trying to do. But.
No, I'm just saying you've had some bizarre experiences that have happened, such as the car filling with smoke
one time.
Smelling. Two
times.
See, 2 times. I remember these things. He blocks them out. His brain goes blackout. Mine doesn't. Talking on the phone while he's driving, while he's coming home, sitting there saying, the car is filling with smoke. I can smell nothing but smoke. And I go, and what's in your trunk? And it was the doll that was in a fire that there was an attachment to, and it was making you choke and cough, and the smell was like something was burning. You actually thought that there was something burning in the car.
Well, I'll tell you what. The legend John Zaffis, as I said, I don't care how old you are, you're still always a student.
No, he didn't get the stuff from his computer.
No. I don't care how old you are. You're still a student of life, of anything in life, including the paranormal. And John Zaffis, again, I go over those old interviews with him, and then we have the opportunity to sit down and talk with him. There's stuff I said, I take what I need from people as far as what fits in my understanding and my reality. And he was saying uh, one thing that I thought really interesting that he said, and I think we talked about this before. He said spirit can attract spirit on the one um, reel that I posted, and I thought that was really really interesting as a concept. In that, if there are spirits in a particular building, will they attract other spirits nearby to that same building? Is it possible? I wouldn't see why it wouldn't be, but um, because a prime example of that is I've been many places where I've said to the people at events and even when with us, I haven't come across this spirit before. I don't know who this is.
Oh, that's
When we
happened a
come
few
here,
times.
we usually interact with this one, that one, or this one, or that one in this area. I don't know who this person is and where they come from. I've said that many times over the last how many years. And I wonder, but I always assume that it's something somebody brought in. Like how many buildings, Caldwell, Peachfield, whatever, um, they have old furniture that's donated
Yeah.
from time period or dolls or whatever, you know?
Yeah, things that are being brought in that might have an attachment to
Like
it.
the Innskeep has that embalming board. I mean, who knows how many?
Hi, Donna.
There she is. Who knows how many spirits may be attached to that, or all in itself. So I always, again, was under the assumption based on experience that they brought whatever was new in by bringing something new in that had energy attached to it.
You didn't assume that it was
That-
maybe another spirit was bringing
No.
piggybacking in on another spirit.
So I don't know. What do you feel about that?
I mean, all right, as far as theory and making sense, yeah, because you think about it. If a spirit is at a location and people are communicating with it, why would and there are other spirits that are trying to be heard, why wouldn't they all come rushing in? I mean, don't we all go rushing into somewhere where we think we're being heard or something like let's as,
Yeah,
as
let's
an
take the
example. Wait, let me
remove the
take
ghost hunting part of
yes.
it.
Now let's as I was going to do as an example. Somebody finds a really good doctor. Okay? And the person goes to that doctor. And if everybody hears that this doctor's really good and this doctor can heal you, everybody's going to come running to that doctor. Everybody's wanting to see that doctor. I'm making it very simplistic and I know it's not. I took out the ghost equation. I'm just saying it makes sense no, stop. It makes sense. My brain doesn't work like you, and I'm fine with that. I'm me. But, and see, you're throwing me off.
Hey, Steve.
I believe that is a possibility. It does make sense to us, just like the same way as like if you're going somewhere and you're talking to someone that maybe you're dialing them in, that they're not really haunting a place, but you're bringing them in by talking to them, or they're like to take a haunted object. When you're speaking to the object and you're addressing the person that's supposedly attached, maybe they're not really attached, but you're bringing them in because you're addressing them. It's almost like picking up the phone. I hate when he just sits there and he gives that look like he's trying to like.
I'm waiting for you to answer the question without relating it to.
I said yes. I believe that is possible. It makes total sense. If something is coming in and we're communicating with that spirit.
Let's remove ghost hunting out of the equation. Let's say nobody has been in the building, quote unquote, ghost hunting or trying to communicate with the spirit there. This building right here, where no one's ever done a ghost hunt, has spirits in it. Can it attract other spirits just solely based on the fact that there are spirits here?
Yes, because it's probably a different type of energy.
That's what I'm asking you. That's all I'm asking you. Not to remove the ghost hunting and kind of saying, hey, people are here trying to communicate.
Because maybe there's like
trying to find out about
kind of like a vibration or whatever. But there's something in the energy in the air, that will draw them. It's like a beacon.
See, I don't know. That one's I'm iffy on that one. I really am.
But we don't know. This is all on theory.
I just said I'm iffy on that.
If you go on theory, then it would be a possibility. I mean, why wouldn't you think that maybe? Because obviously we're doing, when we do ghost hunt or investigate, we're going on atmospheric changes, right? So why can't a spirit?
We're not bickering, and we're
No,
just
we're
talking.
just like, this is debating.
We've been together
This is
for
what we
almost
do.
30 years. We're talking. We're not fighting.
Not at all. This is an open debate. So if there's a vibration that's there, then I believe that it can attract another spirit. It makes sense, doesn't it? Kind of like the same thing as, how does a spirit know, like an individual and like a child is sensitive or can pick up on? It's almost like a beacon, a light. It's something they emit something that gives off, that draws the spirits. So I think it's the same way when maybe there are spirits at a location, that they're a beacon themselves. What?
Jay said, just like a person can bring a friend to a location, a party, why can't a spirit bring another spirit to a location as well? That's why I said, I don't know. For me, I'm iffy on that one, but I understand the concept for sure. And it makes sense, I guess, on some levels. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. But for me, it's kind of, because I think
you
in
need
terms
more
of
a direct
because I think of in terms of people, that may have a spirit in their home, whether it's good or bad, mostly good. Why aren't multiple spirits then coming in?
Yeah.
Can one energy stop another from coming in? That's a whole nother question, because let's say you have a spirit in your home, and nice grandma who lived there forever, built the home, whatever, and a negative type energy tries to enter,
or cranky,
or the location.
Right.
Can one spirit stop another from entering? I don't know. Again, it's all theory wise, then it's all possible, isn't it?
I mean, when they talk about the whole idea that when we pass, that we hold certain characteristics, like, based on your belief that when an evil person, a person who does really evil things in life, murdering people, torturing people, and when they pass, that there's still that energy, there's still that darkness, there's still that type of, characteristic. So if in life you're not a very strong individual, or you're meek, then, and if you're a strong character, do they, not meaning bad or good, but does that weigh out? I'm a stronger personality, so I can silence you and have my say because I'm stronger. I can control. I mean, is it possible that there's an energy surge or something that's more powerful than another one that's weaker? So
that's what I mean, I believe that we've come across multiple energies where one has suppressed the other.
I think so.
I really believe that we've experienced that, not just at the Creeper Gallery, but at other locations. So I do think it's possible, for sure. I just wonder again if, again, I'm the spirit that's here. Can I, if it is possible for spirits to come to a place where other spirits are, can I stop then a spirit from entering as well? Does that
if I'm
exist?
dominant?
Let's say I'm not. Let's say I'm the sweet old grandma that, I'm just saying, just in theory, it's everything is possible and anything is possible. That's the whole thing about not knowing how things work, or why, you have had EV voices tell. Yeah, I know that's happened more. And that's why I said I do know that one energy can keep another down and stop, which is, again, sad to think that, that exists in the afterlife in some way, shape, or form, that, that you can still be kind of bullied.
It's like,
I mean, that is
especially that you're supposed to have. But again, this is where we wonder, what does that mean the next stage after you pass? Why are there spirits that are here? Why can others still be intimidated? Is it because, that's the whole.
How does it?
I do believe that somehow, some way, we do transcend and we don't deal with that anymore. That there is no intimidation, there is no bullying, there is no meek, there is no stronger. That there is a mutual connection.
I can't get into, again, Grant Wilson has an amazing theory on all of this and how it works, the transition process and where it eventually leads.
Yeah.
But I can't.
No, you can't yet.
It's his story to tell and his theory, and it is different, and it makes a lot of sense, and it answers a lot of these types of questions. But it's not my story to tell, and it's not my. He's been working on this for years, so it does make a lot of sense in terms of what he describes as the process. There's many different layers to the transition process that really it's out there, but it makes a lot of sense.
I do believe that at some point we transcend into the whole.
I do believe in life we can avoid bad people, places in spirit realm. There's a safe place to get away from. Yeah, entirely possible, Laura. I don't doubt it. I mean, but again, that's what's great about it. It is the great unknown, and there really aren't any. But again, I told you, every answer leads to more questions. So when John said that about spirit attracting spirit, I thought to myself, I said, wait a minute, I don't think I've ever heard him say that before.
Mm-mm.
And he actually was talking about this a little bit at his lecture in Camp Evans, because I brought it up to him. I said, do you honestly believe that? And he said, sure, I've seen it. And I thought to myself, like, okay, well, that makes some sense, but in other ways it doesn't make a lot of sense. But in the same sense of regard that Jason Hawes, Chip, Judy Kay, they all kind of subscribe to the notion that sensitive people with mediumship abilities have, they tap into a higher vibration, a higher frequency, because they have that ability. But on the other side of that, they also are more of a beacon towards whoever is looking for that frequency vibration to make it easier to, present themselves, interact, communicate. So it is the same kind of type of thing, I guess, if you're talking in terms of spirit. If they're able to be somewhere and exist and, be there for a period of time, why couldn't others,
But that's the cool thing about this. You don't know.
But why in some places and not others? That's the weird thing.
But that's the thing. What dictates what and what doesn't? Are there certain...
The other thing that he said to me that was really, really interesting too, that was kind of like, had to do with objects, and I can't remember now. Do you think that anyone with mental illness will still have it in it? Cynthia, that's a really good question. I'm going to say...
I don't think so. My daughter had a mental illness. She passed away, and I don't.
I think if you, again, Grant Wilson made a lot of sense when he was talking about the different levels of what you go through. I think eventually none of us deal with any of the things that we dealt with that were troublesome, drama, physical. I think eventually none of us deal with any of that. I really do think that. However long that takes, I don't know, but I do think that eventually we're all the same, really.
Yeah, we're as one.
Yeah, but again, Donna, if you listen to different people, Grant Wilson being one of them, again, I wish I could go into this more, and I wish I could have him on, but all the layers that he speaks about, he's going to write volumes about these different layers.
So take the ghost investigation and the different things that we've come across doing what we do. I personally 100% do not believe, and this is my personal belief, and I believe it 100%. I don't believe that you carry over the hardships of life and death. I just don't. Because for me, the logic behind that is that we go through this life, and we if we're fortunate enough to go in this world, go away out of this world, older people and not younger. Why is it that if you're born with something that it has to like you never
Eternity.
escape it, because that's it just doesn't make sense to me that this would be the continuation. I believe that when the time comes in this world when we pass, those type of things are released. Now, that doesn't mean that that my belief is that an impression can be given to you from a spirit, that this is what the spirit in life experienced, like a mental illness, a shooting, a breathing problem, or different things, a trauma. I do believe that there's a stain that can stay, that's like a memory that can be conveyed to you. I don't believe that someone who passes is stuck with that, and that's how they are, and that's my perspective, and that's how, and maybe I'm influenced by the fact is that my daughter did suffer what she suffered, and I would hate for her to have passed on in this life being the kind person that she was, that she suffers mental illness and the torture that she suffered here as a living human being. I think she could impress upon people who try to communicate with her that she suffered from this, and let you know what that was, but I don't think they hold on to it.
I mean, again, Donna brought up the Martha Margaret doll. I think you're both right in a sense, but again, I wish I could say what I heard, and it answers your question, and answers Donna's question, and answers a lot of questions, but it's not my story. It's not my research to present, but in a nutshell, God, I don't even want
No, don't do
no,
it.
no. I'm just saying there are there's a progression from the time we pass till we get to the place that everybody would like to think that we get to, and I'll be as brief as that. Eventually, we do all get to that place. How long it takes and why it takes so long, that's the stuff that Grant breaks down through his research and findings and his studies. So I don't want to say anything more than that, but the answer again was more palatable to me, was that yes, eventually we get there, you know, however long it takes to get there. But for some, it could take a very, very long time to get to the point where, like Donna's saying, it does sound like purgatory. To, it, like Donna's saying with Margaret and Martha, who there was mental illness involved, and child and abuse, and blah, 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 blah. In those situations, those things could take a long, long time to resolve through everything that needs to happen before. I mean, it's something. It's kind of Jay, kind of, sort of. But again, I don't even want to allude to it any more than I am, because I don't want Greg getting mad at me, and he explains it so much better than I ever could. But it's not as easy as saying, again, based on what his theory is, it's not as easy as if to say, when you pass, all that's gone, you're perfect, you're healthy. And that may be the case for some. He even said that, but for others, there's a reason.
So it's different situations.
Yeah, there's a reason why all the other stuff needs to happen.
Have you ever?
And it's not a past life thing. It's not as if you got to come back and do till you learn all these lessons. This is what happens after.
Have you ever had someone say something to you, and for whatever reason, even if it's not a belief system of yours, that it resonates with you, and just like?
Yeah, and that's what I mean. These are the people that I kind of listen to. Believe me, you know me. If someone said something to me that I thought was completely horse crap, I would say, that's horse crap. I don't believe that one bit. But for me, I'm all about trying to fit the pieces of the puzzle together to where they kind of make sense for me. Not for you, not for anybody here. I speak for me.
Yeah.
And when what you're talking about, when I see people writing, what I heard answers those questions for me, for what my beliefs may coincide with.
And what works for you. Heather said something about she hopes. Do you think that we meet our loved ones on the other side? I'm going to tell you my thing behind this, and again, we're all at the age that we've all lost someone. It doesn't matter if daughter, mother, father, brother, sister, relative. We've all lost someone at some point in time. I do believe that when you have a love that is so powerful, because what is love? Love isn't tangible. Love isn't something that you can reach out and touch, and like, it's a feeling. And where does that feeling come from? Where does it manifest from? You know, it transcends so many things. I can't possibly imagine the love that I have for my daughters that death takes that away. It's just not possible for me. I believe that, yeah. And you know, my mother was talking to family members when she was dying, well, right there with us.
And Charlene, mostly everybody believes what you just wrote there, that those who go before us are there to help us with the transition. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, but I don't believe, no matter what I become after my life is over, that what I had with my daughter is gone. That's it. We're finished. I believe that that when the time comes, she will be there. My mother will be there. My father's probably going to outlive me, but I do believe that but it's not in the way that we vision it. It's a totally different way that we feel them, that they're there for us. And then eventually, I believe we all become a collective, and that all of that is like, we're all one, that we're all together, that we all are, I know it sounds weird, but I do believe that. But
we would all like to believe that there is some greater sense to how everything works within the universe, within time and space, and all that other. I think there has to be a reason that, again, we as people are so individual. None of us are the same. That's what makes up our soul, our consciousness. I do believe, like I said, things that you mentioned, like love and life experience. I do have to believe in my head and in my heart that all of that factors in somewhere, somehow.
Has to.
Things like you said, love and anger and all that other stuff just shouldn't exist if it wasn't sort of some kind of cosmic plan. You know what I mean? I just, in my head, it there sort of needs to be some sense to it,
whatever,
when it's all said and done. And I believe that there is. I'm hoping that there is, but
we don't know. Lorraine, you have a perfect point. People should be able to believe whatever they want that gives them peace and comfort.
Definitely.
And I have a thing about that. I honestly believe that there are many roads that lead to the one destination, many ways. So that says a lot.
No, that's 100%. I mean, no one's saying anybody's beliefs are wrong. No, I mean, I would never say that to anyone because I don't know for sure about any of this.
We don't. We just go by what we feel and what we and this. And what I'm saying about what I believe and what I feel, it's because that's what resonates with me and me alone from my experiences and nobody else's. And I would never take away from somebody else's. So your point is, it is the way it should be, is that people, we should respect what other people believe in. It's whatever that brings them comfort and peace. And that's exactly it. Because what I believe brings me comfort and peace.
Sure.
Yeah.
But again, for someone like me, and I don't know how many people are, that don't have that religious foundation and don't have the total blind faith in religion and what they say happens. And, then you have to try to make sense of it on your own, but even then you could be completely wrong.
100%. But I will say this. I was brought up under the Catholic religion, but I'm not religious. I'm faithful. There's a difference. I'm a very faithful person. I do believe and I have faith and trust in something. But as I get older and the more that I endure, the more questions I have. It's not written in stone for me. Does that make sense? I question what I was taught. I question.
It's so funny. Again, I wish I could play the conversation that I had with Grant, because everything he was saying. And Grant loved that I went back at him with all the
Oh, I'm sure you did.
all the skeptic questions that I have about everything that he was saying. And well, Jay, it makes sense. But here's the thing with Grant, and it's true what you're saying. None of us know when whatever's going to happen is going to happen. All we do know is that it happens to all of us eventually. But if you're lucky and fortunate enough to make it to your middle age, senior years, whatever, your perspective, how could it not change? You went from, you look at life a certain way when you're 20s, unless you've suffered through severe tragedy and you've seen, people around you. Then you get in your 30s and, whatever. And then but once you, 50, 60, 70, especially like with us, I mean, I'm going to be 55. I go to an assisted living facility to visit my sister. I see what the last steps look like for a lot of older people. And you start looking at your mortality and thinking, yeah, well, the sands are kind of going, and what is there? The need for knowing becomes greater and greater and greater and greater because
we have a fear of the unknown.
You're a little more nervous because
fear of the unknown. What happens next? You want answers, and where we thought you had a bunch of. And again, that's an illusion. Time is an illusion. We don't know how much time we have.
Yeah, but no, I thoroughly enjoyed my conversation with Grant, and it did give me different perspective, which is what you want for whatever your core beliefs are. And that's another thing, again, about John that I love about John Zaffis is John's never been a guy to accept one thing as far as religion or his beliefs. He'll tell you flat out, I've met with, people who study Buddhism, this, that, the other, and I've listened to all of them, and they, they'll have different ideals and different beliefs, and, he's open to every one of them. And he's taken that knowledge and used it to try to help people whenever and however he could, because you can't ever tell anybody that their beliefs are wrong. You just can't, because you don't know. You really don't know.
Michelle, you brought up a really good point about losing your way. Like your mom was really, she lost her faith after your dad died. It's really easy to be in a religion when you've not been tested and you haven't been tried, and you see people around you who are being tested and tried, and we're taught to a certain extent judgment. And I'm going to tell you guys all a funny story. When I was younger, my parents did raise us to be very open-minded, and someone right before your post talked about being open-minded and not having egos get in our way and get us stuck, and that's so true. But when I was a young girl, lived in Florida, 18 years old, and this elderly woman in her 80s would come around, and anyone who's been in Florida knows that it's really, really hot. And they drop her off in a van, and she'd come, and I'd open the door, and I'd have her come in, cool off, and I'd get her a glass of water and put up her feet because her feet were swollen. And we talk about belief systems. And she was a Jehovah's Witness. And we just go back and forth, and we would talk and go back, and she was never, pushy or told me I was wrong and what I believed in, what I didn't believe in. So one day she said, "You've been so kind to me. I would like to invite you to our church. With my family, we'll come pick you up. We'll take you, and we'll bring you to our church." And I talked to my dad and my mom, and I said, "You should go. You should always experience something different." So I went. And there's they had all the chairs laid out around this all the way down, bunches of them, like what you see in those what are those TV shows where you see all the chairs and then you see the stage,
stadium seating.
Yeah, the stadium seating type of thing. And I'm sitting in between the family, and the I don't know what they call him. He comes out and he's standing up on the stage, and he goes, "We have a sinner among us," and everybody's looking, and I'm looking. I'm like, who? Oh my God, there's a sinner. And the next thing I know, the woman who I invited into my home and her family members we have a Catholic among us. The sinner must stand. And basically admit to her sins. I got up and I walked home. 5-mile walk by myself. I was so angry that this person did this. So that's what makes me mad when it comes to religion and being tested. When you make somebody and try to single them out and make them ashamed of what they are and who they are when they've shown you kindness and opened the door to you as a human being. That's what we're supposed to remember. Human beings first. Religions are belief systems. They're not facts. They're belief systems that we've been taught, and it's been stuck in our head. And I was fortunate enough to have parents that said, be open-minded. I've been in a Baptist church, a Methodist church, Episcopalian, Christian church. I've done all the different ones because that's what my parents taught us to be. Open-minded. Embrace other people's beliefs because your way is not the only way. And I'm grateful for that teaching. And I certainly learned real young what it's like to be treated poorly. And I won't do that to someone else.
Yeah, I mean, that's a whole nother, again, that's a belief in faith. And Kathy, I know you're deep into religion, and I respect that about you. And I know that you work with a lot of people, and I know you love your church and the people. And I wish I had that. And like I said, we've known you for years.
You do, Kathy.
And she does. She respects everyone and their beliefs, which speaks volumes about her character. But, belief in faith. I don't want to get too deep into it because, we're almost at an hour. But I wasn't raised that way. My siblings all went to Catholic school. I didn't. My mom, weddings and funerals, that's it. And when we go to church, I love my mom. I miss my mom, and I'm sure she's listening. But we would get there and we'd sit down and they'd start the Our Father and whatever, and I'd mumble the whole way through it. And amen, amen. Whenever I knew everybody else was amen, and she'd get me. And when are you going to learn? And it didn't take for me. And when you're someone like that, you want to believe. Believe me, I want to believe in so many things. I want to just take it for granted. What everybody tells me is real, but for me, I've never ever been that way. And it will be easier to be that way as I've gotten older. Like I said, I've opened up to the idea since my mom has passed of guardian angels. I do believe my mom, 100%, is my guardian angel, and that she has really interceded, is that the word? Intervened,
Yeah.
and things that have been going on in my life where I was just down and out and as low as I can get. And I've spoken to her and things kind of turned around, and I saw signs that they will. This just happened to me.
Divine intervention.
Last week when things were going really, really bad. And I talked to my mom and I was just like, Mom, it's like one thing after another here. Are things going to get better? Please. And Chris and I were driving down this one-way road, and we stopped for some reason because we were talking about how Chris always takes off without putting in the GPS, and we're going back and forth, and right in front of us, a cardinal flew right and landed on the branch right there. And I had seen that cardinal in that area for a long, long time. So, but again, I posted on my private page, very personal thing about, my family tumors ravaged. We were just at my nephew's daughter's sweet 16, and there were members of my mom's family who were ravaged by tumors. They're all deaf. They all have paralysis. That's why I don't have a lot of hearing in my right ear, because I had a big tumor in my head that they took out when I was 24. That's why I'm having this problem. I also have 7 tumors on my spine that affect a lot of what I do. I mean, when we do events, I'm down for days. The expo, I'm down for a week or two because my body just can't do what it used to do. But I don't let it stop me. But my sister, who I love more than anyone on this planet, 2 years older than me, it was because of her that I got tested for this gene that we have that produces tumors. Sandy was having headaches. Unfortunately for her, by the time they found them, she had massive, massive tumors in her brain. And after multiple surgeries, my sister went from someone who I could confide in and joke with, and I've had in my whole entire life that I, would give me lectures of like a sister does and laugh and joke. My sister had the same sense of humor as me, would always make me laugh at breakfast in the morning because she would do things that just were funny and crazy. To now, my sister is blind, deaf, on a feeding tube, in a wheelchair. I can't communicate with my sister at all. She feels my beard. She knows it's me. She holds my hand, and those are my visits with my sister. And believe me, through that whole process of every surgery that she went through where something was taken from her, and yet somehow I was able to live a normal life as I could, doing things that I like to do, and still having my vision and most of them, my hearing in my ear. I was angry. I'm still angry at a lot of the world. Doesn't make sense in those respects where she's the way she is and I'm the way I am, and children pass and get cancer. The world doesn't make a sense in so many ways, and you can be angry and blame. I always look to blame. If there was somebody, a higher power, why would they do those things? Why? But there are no answers, not that we're going to ever understand until they're hopefully presented to us whenever. And that again makes the whole grant thing, I can't explain, makes sort of sense in a way, and when it comes to that. But I I want to believe there's a sense to all of this when it's all said and done. I lean towards believing that, but I don't have 100% faith in that. Not blind faith in it. No way. No how. Um, but again, the things I've seen from my mom in the last 3 years and being in this field, but more so with my mom, have led me to believe in that more than I ever have. Whereas again, Chris went through things, I've been through things where you could just be angry and bitter and let life just crush you under the weight of all of
No
that.
purpose.
And you have every reason not to get out of bed or not to exist the day or the day after that. But life always, you always have the opportunity for life to get better as fast as it got worse. That could happen.
And I don't want to be the
but-
one responsible for putting weight and making another person
No,
feel
not
worse
at
than
all.
their stuff
But
either.
again, as quick as things got bad and the world crumbled, the pieces can start coming back and things can get better. And you shouldn't ever get to the point where you're thinking of throwing that away, because there's life is for the living. Things can get better as quick as they got bad, and you should give it time, because
Perspective.
yeah, they can get better for everyone. Let me just close that because my battery's dying here. I don't know if you guys can see that. But anyway, I didn't mean to get anybody depressed. I didn't tell you guys that because it's just, I'm just explaining my perspective and Chris explains her perspective. But we're in this with you. We're all living this life experience together. Well, none of us live the same lives as each other, but we all share an interest in this one thing, which is life beyond the physical life. And hopefully together we can figure some stuff out and answer some questions and talk about these things in an open forum.
You got to read what Alex put.
I can't.
That's why I'm putting it right here.
I can't see it.
It says, I believe in a higher power. 2 years ago, my son rang the bell for him being cancer free. Prior to that, I prayed that he could be clean and healthy, and as any parent would do, give it to me and take it from my son. 2 weeks after he rang the bell, I was diagnosed with a rare blood cancer, and I'm okay with that. Alex, one, I'm very sorry.
Yes,
and two, it is unique because as parents, we do, and the people that we love, we do want to take away. And I'm sorry that you bear the burden of that, but I also know you don't begrudge that your son is cancer free. So God bless you.
And yeah, our thoughts, prayers, everything are with you, Alex, and your family, for the best possible,
Hey, Barry.
outcome of this. Anyway, I know we got a little deep. I didn't want to bring you guys down. I'm actually, believe it or not, in my own crazy, bizarre way, trying to give you guys hope.
Good luck, David.
Don't ever give up. Don't ever throw in the towel. Tomorrow's another day. Tomorrow's could be a better day. Tomorrow could be the best day you ever had, or next week, or next year. So keep keep hope and support each other. Now I sound like Chris. And, you know,
I'm rubbing off on him.
let's
people.
keep talking about this stuff. This is, again, we all support each other. We all have different opinions, different theories, but none of us are wrong. And
No.
we can, it's an open discussion always.
Always.
So that's it, guys. Tomorrow, much happier note, we'll be with Creepy Items at the Creeper Gallery. What could be better than that?
Dark stuff. What could be better than that?
So
right?
we'll see you tomorrow, 8 p.m. live from the Creeper Gallery in New Hope, Pennsylvania.
Stay safe, be healthy, and please remember to be kind to each other. As you can tell, there are people even on here that are going through some things where they could really use our support. Good night, everybody.
Night, everyone.